Do you know why you feel stressed out when you're watching a movie and the main character is running away from the bad guys? You feel like you're getting tensed up, or your favorite character ends up dying and you're just like, ugh. You know what that is? That is the power of storytelling and the very thing you may be missing in your how-to videos. In this video, we're going to break down why some business owners get a ton of engagement and a ton of success from their how-to videos, while others spend a massive amount of time but get little to no engagement. And if you stick around to the end, we're going to cover 3 clear action steps to save a ton of time in the content process by simply using stories that are happening in and around your business. But if we're talking about how-tos and storytelling, we got to talk about Steve Jobs. Does that name ring a bell? Of course it does. Steve Jobs was one of the main people to bring Apple to the fame and success that it ultimately has today. But you see, Steve Jobs was both very successful and a massive failure when it came to how he presented his business. Here's what Steve Jobs wanted. He wanted to be the biggest, baddest computer company in the world. But he wasn't the only one who wanted that. He had intense competitors, Xerox, IBM, who wanted it just as bad, if not more than him, and had the resources to beat him. Now, not a lot of people know this, but Steve Jobs ultimately failed in his competition against Xerox and IBM. Here's what happened. He had a computer named Lisa, and how he would talk about Lisa was very intricate. He would go over all the details, like a how-to manual, like a car manual, on how to use a specific product such as Lisa. This type of marketing approach tanked Lisa. It did terribly. Marketing didn't convert. Sales were non-existent, at least in comparison to Xerox and IBM. And his failure ultimately led him to leaving Apple. Now, fast forward a few more years, Steve Jobs came back to Apple with a totally new perspective. You see, Steve Jobs was surrounded by the storytellers of Pixar. These storytellers were phenomenally skilled at bringing someone through a journey and connecting with their audience. And that's what Steve Jobs wanted. He wanted to connect with his audience to show them how powerful his products are. So instead of having a 9-page article going over all the details of his product in the New York Times, which he actually did, he replaced the tech talk with 2 simple words: think different. These 2 words paved the way for all of their marketing, showing stories of people who are using the products and ultimately thinking different. This is what the customers wanted. They wanted a product that would help them think different without having to be a computer nerd. And because of this simple storytelling approach, Apple's marketing and sales crushed it. They were light years ahead of the competition. And that's what we want as business owners, right? As business owners, we're not creating how-to videos just because we want to look pretty on YouTube. No, we want to be able to connect with people and serve them more with our products and services ultimately. Now, here's the thing. We've been editing tutorial how-to videos for years now, and for good reason. How-to videos are the 2nd largest category on YouTube, just behind music videos. And now some of our clients would get a ton of reach and ton of views, hundreds of thousands of views on their how-to videos. But the kicker is they wouldn't get much engagement, let alone conversions, meaning new clients, new customers that they could serve. And I was trying to bridge this gap. Why were they able to get so many views but such little customers? And I accidentally ran into this type of discovery that I did not see coming. I created and posted a video about Alex Hormozi. It was this video right here. He's just simply a person trending in our space, and all of a sudden that video gained us tons of clients, more than 6 figures in revenue just from that video alone. And I questioned it. I thought, is this a fluke? I need to try this again. So I posted another video and it happened again. More and more clients that we were able to serve just from those videos alone. Now, the important part here is that I only touched on his story. I don't even think I did that good of a job with it, but the results rang true. As I talked about Alex Hormozi's story and how he creates content, the viewers were then thinking about them creating content in the same way. This puts the viewers in the driver's seat. It connects with them. So instead of explaining how to create better content, I explained how Alex Hormozi creates content. And think about this from the viewer's point of view. This just makes sense. If I see a video that says how to create better videos, I'll click on that video, they'll tell me how to create better videos, and then I'll say sayonara, because I won't have a deep connection with that person. But if that person gives a story that I can relate to, all of a sudden I have a type of connection. For example, I might follow Gary Vee because he talks about how he's using content in his business, not just how anyone can create any type of content for any business. Him explaining his story on how he creates content for his business is that connection point that makes me want to look forward to more content from him. So here are 3 ways for you to use stories in your how-tos: present, past, and you. The present is all about who is presently in the mind of your target audience. For example, this was me talking about Alex Hormozi, who's currently trending in our space. But let's say that you're in a niche that's pretty saturated, a lot of people creating content about what you want to create content on. That's when you want to go to the past. Who was before Alex Hormozi? How can you talk about a historical figure that relates to your your current audience today. Maybe it's someone like Steve Jobs. And lastly, you. One of the easiest ways to create stories is simply to talk about your experience going through the process yourself and or helping your clients go through the process. No matter how saturated your niche is, nobody can take you or your clients away from you. Now that we've covered the importance of storytelling, let's talk about systemizing your content exactly how Alex Hormozi does to increase your brand awareness on social media. Check it out right here.